198.
Ooh, 2 more months.
Oh. And we have 3 months to get there, so we can skip December and still get 200. So that's nice. Yes. Because usually everybody's busy in December. I know you two are.
Yeah. And I think like Christmas is on. Yeah, Christmas is on the 25th. No, it's November. Sorry.
We've been skipping December, right? The past couple of years? I'm not even...
I don't remember.
We did last year, for sure, because, like, Christmas was, like, on a Friday or Saturday last year.
Right.
So that was rough. This year it's on a Sunday, but still.
Oh, right. It is.
I'm going to open my loud can. That wasn't that loud. That was a little louder.
Can you drink a gamer drink? A Mountain Dew gamer drink?
It's the gamer drink. Waterloo sparkling water.
That's an adult gamer drink if I ever heard one.
This is episode 198 of playonultra podcast, sponsored by Waterloo gamer drink.
I just think of ABBA every time I see it.
What is it? Is it a flavored sparkling water type thing?
It's the flavor of summer berries. The picture shows raspberry, blueberry, and blackberry.
Is it one of each?
Those are the summer ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just drinking boring.
I just wanted it because it was cool.
I forgot.
I normally just drink tap water, but it's colder.
Oops.
So this is episode 188. That intro was the intro. So
198. You said 88.
No, I did not.
I heard you say 88.
I
198. 198.
It's a hard thing to enunciate.
Yeah, 198.
Either way.
Oh, gosh.
So, 2 more episodes to 200, and then we're all done.
What? That's it.
Then we're done. We can stop. Finally, we're freedom.
That was the goal all along.
Exactly. Just wanted to say we had 200 episodes of a podcast.
This is one of our really late podcasts. It's technically October for me already.
Late in the month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What have y'all been doing?
Oh, gosh.
I haven't watched the She-Hulk from this week yet, but everything else I've watched.
I haven't either.
I haven't either. Because Thursdays are a hard day for us to watch stuff. So we probably would either tonight or tomorrow.
Is it like a Wednesday night?
No, for me it's Thursday.
Thursday morning.
Kind of
Thursday morning for us, so maybe Wednesday night for you. So it's Thursdays are a hard time.
Thursday morning for y'all. I would see it Thursday
later
night.
Thursday night. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Because it's definitely Thursday for us. It's not Wednesday, because that was the problem. So no, I haven't watched the latest episode. We have been keeping up with House of Dragons, though, the Game of Thrones TV
prequel,
show.
Yeah.
The prequel. I actually quite like it. It's still got some like, oh, did we have to see that kind of things. But I actually think like, if you kind of liked the idea of Game of Thrones, but just either you didn't like the ending of Game of Thrones, or you were like, this is too much, but you were interested in maybe like the setting and the drama, I'd give this show a chance. It's fewer characters, which is really nice. Because it's like, oh my gosh, I can keep everybody straight. It is a lot of like Targaryen kind of ridiculousness. So if you don't really know about how overdramatic the Targaryen family always is, you might find this a little off-putting. But if you just go like, I'm looking at a fantasy overdramatic weird inbred family, you should be good to go. Acting is very strong. I don't have any complaints from anybody. It's not as, it's still got some weird like sexual scenes and more weird. It's not, I will say, nothing as like horrific as what we had seen in Game of Thrones. Is there any rape scenes? No, there really hasn't been. There's been a little bit of like some kind of forceful stuff, but nothing to the degree that you would see in Game of Thrones. I will say, there's a lot of birthing scenes. So if birthing makes you squeamish, you might just be careful.
Right.
I wouldn't say I enjoy it.
No, I would say the first episode is probably the worst of it because it's a C-section.
Jesus fuck.
They
showed it?
They show a little bit, sort of. It's meant to be
hell.
like, yeah, it is. It's meant to be gross. That was probably the worst one. The others are more of like, you just hear sounds and you're like, I don't know about that, but like nothing wrong happens. So I will say that if you're squeamish about birth and stuff like that, be forewarned, there's a lot of it here. So that's the only thing. But like, it's a way fewer characters. There are a lot of like good characters, but there's nobody that's like a clear good guy, so I will warn you of that. There are some people that you might say more morally are more correct than others in some ways.
Wasn't that also kind of...
Yeah, that was kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of the game. The problem with the original Game of Thrones, there were so many characters, and the kids that grew up, they were pretty much the only good ones. Like, the Stark kids were pretty much always the good ones, and so you're always kind of stressed out about them. In this case, pretty much everybody, like, some of the, like, you meet later on some kids you kind of feel bad for, but even then, not really, because some of them are assholes as well.
Fuck them kids.
It sounds like a Tennessee Williams play. Just, you hate everybody. They're all miserable. They kind of deserve it.
Yeah, they're all kind of miserable, and they all kind of deserve like the stuff. I mean, and there's differing levels of that. So if you're looking for a clear black and white fantasy, this isn't for you. The designs of the dragons are really cool, though. If you were like, I wanted more dragons, this is the show for you, because they're really, really cool.
No wonder that name sounded so familiar, Tennessee Williams. A Streetcar Named Desire. I love that. Wasn't the best.
Streetcar Named Desire is the biggest one. He did Cat in a Hot Tin Roof and Glass Menagerie are his other one, the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's just miserable in all of those, and there's a lot of domestic abuse, and you know, it's just they're good, but they're not happy fun times at all.
Honestly, I just liked it for hot young Marlon Brando.
Oh sure, yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but I know he's
he was
both in a lot of his movies and also in real life. So yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so...
There's some version of, I think it's Glass Menagerie, where one of the characters is played by hot young Tommy Lee Jones. So I kind of want to check that out.
So, weird non-segue. So I just... Jujutsu Kaisen. Have any of y'all heard of that anime? Jujutsu?
I know the name.
Right? Okay.
I don't know if it's... Is it a mecha? Is it a ninja?
I'm not
I don't
sure.
know what kind of anime
Maybe
it is.
it's...
Okay.
Mecha ninjas. I don't know. But it's anime, man. What the fuck? Whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna have them all eventually.
So
as a beach episode.
I think it's a manga and a series, but also there are movies. And Malaysia do have like limited releases in cinemas for a lot of these Japanese anime movies.
That's cool.
And some of them are pretty, because anime is, I think it's one of those like the local like higher ups finally understand that people really love anime here. There's money to be had. So they do proper marketing and all that with like those giant cardboard standees.
Nice.
So usually what will happen is if they don't reuse that, it gets thrown out, or any staff who love them will take it back home. So my colleague found out that one of the cinemas like behind her house or something was selling the standees, and she was asking us to help her justify the cost of her favorite character, which is, the thing is like,
how much were they asking for a cardboard stand?
Let me just do really quick, $35 to $40 maybe conversion.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot for some cardboard, but
it's life size, though. It's not.
Yeah, I mean it's big,
and it's her favorite character, so
I would do it for the right character.
The thing is, her favorite character is everybody's favorite character. So hers was like 35 USD, while the others were like closer to 20, 25. Anyways, we were talking about this, and then somehow we started talking about like K-pop. Because people were like talking about how they buy merch and all that shit. So one of my colleagues was talking about buying, not BTS, like some other K-pop band. She said she bought a bunch of merch, and then she just started losing interest. And then she found out her bias. Do you guys understand what bias means in K-pop terms?
Is it like the archetype?
The favorite.
I like the pretty boy. I like the bad boy.
Oh.
A person's bias is like their favorite member of the band.
The singles. Okay, I mean that's weird because there's already a word for that, which is favorite.
Not sure why they use bias. I'm not. The first time I heard it, I was like, "What the fuck are you saying?" So her bias, she found out, a child rapist. So yeah.
Oh no.
And she has a bunch of his merch.
Oh god.
She can't sell it. Nobody's gonna buy that shit.
You gotta throw it away.
Yeah.
You gotta burn it.
Yeah.
Purge.
So yeah, that's why I say weird non-segue. I just thought of it for some reason.
My weird segue, I will say, is I forgot, but I did see the Dragon Ball movie that was out recently. The Dragon Ball Superheroes.
Are you current on Dragon Ball, or does it not matter? Like you can just watch it on its own?
I don't think it matters. Listen, I was dragged to it by my wife and my brother, who are very current. It's definitely after the Broly movie. Although if you didn't see the Broly movie, you're just gonna go, "Oh, hi Broly," and then he's not important. You really. The only thing I guess you would need to know is it takes place when Gohan is married and has Pan.
It's a reboot, right? This Dragon Ball Super is a reboot?
Yes, Super is a reboot.
So did you watch Dragon Ball Super Superheroes, or did you watch Dragon Ball Super Superheroes Heroes? I just made up that. I just made that up.
Did you have a stroke?
I wouldn't believe you.
It's super plausible. I mean, nothing sounded that crazy.
I will say, the movie was better than it should have been. And like I've seen 2 Dragon Ball Super movies, the Broly one and this one, and I weirdly enjoyed both of them, which is very strange. I'm not saying you have to see it, just that if you are a Dragon Ball Z fan, I should say, you'll probably like it. The animation's very different. It takes a while to get used to. It's kind of more cell shaded esque. But they use it to good effect. Like
is it more 3D?
Like the season 2 of Berserk?
Is that the video game?
No, the anime that came out like 5-7 years ago.
I'd have to look. I'm not sure. It reminds me a little bit of the video games. Right.
I think I can sort of
that style. Yeah. But they use it for good effect. Like they do. Like it doesn't look cheap. It looks like they were able to kind of use it to do cooler animation effects. So
I just want whoever is in charge of naming conventions for the Dragon Ball franchise to work together with whoever's in charge for the naming conventions for Square Enix franchises and just like Project Square Triangle Superheroes 358 Days by 2.5.
God, kill me. Anyway, but yeah, movie wasn't bad. You don't really need to know much. Like I said, you just need to know that Gohan now has a daughter named Pan. And they reference Broly, but like it's such a side thing, it's not that important.
Do you watch the anime series?
I
not really.
Don't, but sometimes I'm forced to. Sometimes it's just on the family TV, and I go, okay, that's a lot of screaming.
A lot of people getting powered up.
Yeah, pretty much. But but it's a good Gohan-centered movie. It's not Goku-centered or Vegeta-centric. The whole joke, actually, is that Vegeta and Goku are not available to help because they are just literally training and don't hear the signal that they are needed. So Gohan saves the day instead. And Piccolo, if you're a huge fan of Piccolo, this is the movie for you because he gets cool. My favorite part was actually at the start of the movie that went, if you were old enough to remember Dragon Ball, you might have remembered the Red Ribbon Army. And I just got to watch my
god.
Yeah, I got to watch my wife and my brother just wither. So that was really funny. Yes, it is all about the Red Ribbon Army. Spoiler alert, they come back. But yeah, it's funky. If you like Dragon Ball Z, you'll probably like it. It's pretty good. And if you don't, but you're just interested, you'll probably... It's entertaining. It's a popcorn entertainment. But yeah, I got to see that. So speaking of anime movies, I saw one.
Nice. Any standees to buy?
I know. Unfortunately not. We can barely find tickets, so.
Oh, damn.
It's limited release, and
they always do that, right, with anime movies.
Yeah. And they're the theaters that had them, like, we could drive to them, but they were not the ones closest to us. So like, it wasn't a far drive, but like, it was still a drive to get to some of these, like a 30-minute drive. So I was like, okay. But yeah, limited release, very, very few. I'm not even sure if it's still showing, to be honest with you. But
yeah, it came out a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
At least I remember seeing like the marketing for it, like at least a couple months ago. Any cosplayers? Did you see any cosplayers going to the?
No, there was like nobody in the theater. It was weird because it was a limited release and some theaters were completely packed. And this one we got, I guess because it was like a Sunday evening. It was just us and like one other group of friends, and that was it. We thought that we had theater to ourselves at first. It was actually kind of funky. But yeah, no cosplaying that I could see. A lot of theaters don't allow it these days. So.
That's lame.
Oh, because
at the very
like,
least you can't. Because the
blocks.
dark. Look,
right.
No, there was that Batman movie where a guy cosplayed as Batman and shot up the theater.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to hide shit under giant coats, kind of thing.
Yep. So not every theater like disallows it. Usually, what I've seen, because we kind of cosplayed a tiny bit for one of the Star Wars movies. And my wife wasn't allowed to bring in her lightsaber. So it's like they can't say completely no, but she was just wearing like a cloak, so it wasn't like that like ridiculous. This guy was like body armor Batman hiding shit. So yeah, it was pretty extreme. So that's what I mean, that like you can wear like clothes, but for the most part it's just kind of looked down upon just because of that event. So this is why we can't have nice things.
Jesus Christ, okay.
I know. This was years ago, too. This was...
Yeah, I remember this one now, after you mentioned it.
Yeah, this was like, what, 10 years ago? Yeah, it was a while ago.
Quite a while.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm blowing your ears out, by the way.
What did y'all think about She-Hulk?
I haven't seen the latest one. I'm still enjoying it. You know, I enjoy it for what it is. I'm not taking it seriously. Yeah. So... I don't have any complaints,
I'm liking it
really.
More than Miss Marvel, but it is probably one of the shows I'm currently watching, like ongoing shows. It's not the one I look forward to the most to watch. But I'm liking it.
Yeah. It's a very easy watch.
It is,
It's not... Yeah. It's a, let's put it on, you don't have to think too much. It's exactly what I need it to be. It's certainly not the most, engaging of the Marvel TV series, but I don't know when the next time they're going to have that, because, like, that was, for me, like, WandaVision and Loki. That's probably when I was the most, like, what's going to happen next? And this is kind of more
and
like...
you got to be engaged. You got to be, like...
Yeah.
I mean, because, it's not... She-Hulk's not an anthology show, but it almost feels like it sometimes. Like, there's, like... There's not a clear, like, this is the problem in this episode. These are the stakes. It's just kind of like, oh, she's got to go to a wedding?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how that plays out. That's the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fun. But it's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not super invested one way or the other.
No, not really. I'm not angry. I think the people who are, well, it's all the incel boys that are mad. But, like, the Fury's very frustrating. And, of course, I think that's what feeds it. And so sometimes I can get a little bit of a laugh because of that. Like, when she go... My favorite was her comment of, like, I swear this is not a show of cameos. Or the next episode, she was like, yeah, Wong came back. Now we can be Twitter, Twitter proof for a week.
That'll be the Twitter thing. Yeah.
Something like being Twitter proof for a week or something. That was funny.
That's good.
I did like the
self-aware
Abomination cameo.
That was cool.
The Wong cameo, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And they made a joke about Edward Norton, right? They actually...
I didn't care for that joke, but they did.
He looks so different.
I heard... I did hear Edward Norton is a bit of a prick to work with, though.
I have heard
that. It was very difficult to work with. I'm not sure if he... sexually assaulted anybody, but...
I didn't hear that.
Like,
I did hear he was a dick.
At work is...
Speaking of sexual assault,
my God.
have you guys
nice segue for...
heard of
nice
the new
segue.
documentary House of Hammer?
No, what's this?
Oh my God, is that the family of
actor...
Armie Hammer?
it's the family of Army Hammer, and they're all monsters, and we get to hear about it. But most specifically,
he comes
Army
from like
Hammer,
some giant.
because he is a cannibal.
Wait, Jeffrey Dahmer, you said?
Similar. I said
Okay.
Army Hammer's a cannibal
Oh.
because he eats meat from people.
Oh.
As far as we know, he hasn't murdered anybody, but like his girlfriend's like, yeah, he'd like carve strips of us and then fry it and eat it.
What?
So
What?
so it's a weird, it's an interesting documentary.
Why are there
It's
two
ongoing.
documentaries out right now about cannibals? There's a Jeffrey Dahmer documentary out right now.
There's a Dahmer documentary, but also the Dahmer series.
It might be the Dahmer series. I don't know, man. I don't.
That's the big
I
one.
don't
That's the
like-
one everybody's watching.
Yeah, that's when everyone's watching. I used to like love mysteries and serial killers and stuff, but now I just can't take
It's too much.
seriously the glor. It's just the
I only like 'em
glorification
if
of
they're
crazy
solved.
white men. That too. Yeah.
Sure.
For me, like it's more of I'm not a huge fan of this like glorification of white serial killers. I just not a fan. I don't like the message it brings. But yeah, like you, like I like the mystery part of it, but some of the semi-glorification is very creepy, so I have stayed away.
Army Hammer's like grandfather or something was like some kind of huge businessman. Like he's really rich, right? The family, like
Yes.
an oil tycoon or something like that. Some like
Basically.
all money.
I don't remember if it's yeah, but super rich, super rich, old money.
House of Hammer sounds like
Yeah, I
something
mean,
from Game of Thrones.
interesting. Yeah. I normally don't go in for the gossipy stuff, but this is just so crazy that I'm finding it weirdly compelling.
Yeah, it's
Anyway, sorry for that weird segue.
no, it's that was eating people. we have gotten
that
we've
was
gotten
what got me to
on the
watch
bingo
it.
board.
I'm like, he's a what? Because they play like an audio clip that he left on like his girlfriend's like voice machine. I'm like, I have to hear more. Say more words. Explain. Cannibal.
Yeah,
So weird.
please take a second to say what.
So yeah, She-Hulk. That's a nice little thing to watch.
Yeah,
Doesn't have
that's
cannibals
not
in it.
about cannibals, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Let's knock on wood on that one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Unless she turns into a zombie or something. Did you play anything, Sarah? FF14.
Not really.
Yeah.
Some 14. I've even just a lot of my time these days, to be completely honest with you, is playing tabletop like D&D. I have
How many characters going?
four. It's a lot.
Is it all
It's
with
a
different game masters?
Yeah. It's all different. It's all different GMs and stuff like that. Similar players, like for instance, my wife is in all of them, but she GMs one of those. My brother GMs one and is in another one with me, and all in between. So like, it's a lot of similar friend groups, but all different GMs. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot. The problem is that a lot of my days these days are like, okay, I'm done with work and I need to get online. So, but it's fun. Right now it's all Dungeons and Dragons. It wasn't all like that. But that's just because my brother tends to run other systems, which I really enjoy, but the next one's going to be D&D. So, it's a lot of D&D. Which is fine. D&D is just not my favorite system, so I make it work. But yeah.
What do you like better?
So, it just depends. I think as far as like an overall system that still kind of can do like, it's at like a niche. Well, it is niche, but it still has a little bit of openness, is like World of Darkness. We've talked about World of Darkness because they had the really crappy thing that happened, but the system itself is really nice. Whenever I do feel like it, the system that I liked a lot growing up is called Legend of the Five Rings. It's very like fantasy samurai Japan. That one's really nice. The system is like kind of janky when you get to higher levels, and it's very deadly because you're not really supposed to be in combat a lot. But like, it's really nice if you're like not all super into combat, but really like the role play aspects. It's really helpful for that. I also have to give a shout out to the Game of Thrones made a system. It is okay, but it was the first system that at least tried to have both like physical battles system and like a court battle system.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Also, they have like rules of like how to make your own house, and that's the most fun part of the game is just making up your own minor house. So
is
that's
there
fun.
a Phoenix Wright tabletop?
Not that I'm aware of.
It sounds like something that should be done.
Yeah,
just like clock battles.
I know, yeah, not that I've heard of. Maybe they made an Avatar: The Last Airbender one on Kickstarter, but I haven't heard anything about it. I was really interested in it. It was very simplistic.
I think it was
kids.
successful. I believe
it was successful. I just haven't heard anything more about it, so I have to kind of look into that because I kind of liked that system. D&D is good. It's just that if you don't really like doing battles, it's really not a good system for anything else.
The current system is very video gamey.
Oh, for sure, because that's their main target audience right now. Because a lot of people are coming into. Kinda, yeah. I mean, for a while now, they're kind of trying to bring in like people who kind of were raised on video games and trying to get them on a tabletop. I mean, Critical Role. I mean, yeah, it's totally fine. It works. Like if you are interested in like battling and using that kind of stuff, it's fun. Like if you like that kind of tactical stuff, it's not perfect, but like you can do some fun things. But anything else like role play wise and stuff like that, there's no reason to have a character sheet. So it's like that kind of thing. So I just also think the system itself, I don't know. It's okay. It's very number crunchy, which is not for everybody. Star Wars, the Fantasy Flight version, the downside is that they have their own like special dice with special symbols on them, but it's otherwise a pretty nice system. If you like Star Wars, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good system. You do need to get a lot of books though, which is really annoying, but that one's pretty fun. Yeah. I also even played an Aliens game. Alien, like the movies, with Ripley. Aliens. That's an interesting system. So that's pretty cool too. Very simplistic, but also very deadly. If you see an alien, you're just gonna die. There's no really ifs, ands, or buts. But that one's more fun. But yeah. I'm not a super huge tabletop guru, but I've been playing for a while, so it's fun. But I don't watch Critical Role, which a lot of people find weird. But listen, it is hard to concentrate on someone else's game for 4 hours once a week. I've got my own. Sure. So, but yeah. So that's been taking up most of my time. That being said, for my other podcast, we're participating in some other podcasts, like trying to find like game of all time kind of thing. And so we had to like pick games to play and like talk about and rate. And we have chosen Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. So we are all going to play it and then compare them. So that will be wish me luck on the old JRPG mechanics that always make me scream.
But Chrono Trigger's pretty...
Trigger's not bad. I know... I used to play... I played a little bit of Chrono Trigger when I was younger, and it wasn't so bad. I just will have to play it paused first because the ATP system goes a little too fast for me when I'm not ready. That one doesn't have as many, like, stupid random battle mechanics, but I think Final Fantasy VI is pretty traditional, so I'm just going to have to be careful. Because those things screw me sideways. So, but yeah, so that will be happening. Hopefully I will have played some of those games by the next time we talk. Because I have to get them both done by December. So, but yeah, that's pretty much been my month, I think, that I can think of. What would you all do?
I watched a lot of stuff. I got like 2 episodes into a bunch of different things, and I liked all of them, so I don't know why I kept changing to new things. I should have just stuck with one thing. But like, I watched the first couple episodes of, I like to call it Spy X Family. People like to tell me it's Spy Family, but I say...
No, it's Spy X Family. You finally saw Spy X Family.
Yeah, it's Hunter X Hunter.
Yeah, exactly. What'd you think?
Yeah, so it was fine. I only just met the wife because it's only like watched 2 episodes, so I'm not.
Okay. Yeah.
Seen like a normal episode yet.
Got
I
it.
need to watch. I'll watch more whenever I can watch a thing with subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys watch Andor at all?
Oh, right.
No, we haven't yet. We're
how
going
many episodes
to. We
out?
just
Is it one or like
I think
3?
4.
Four episodes.
Four
They dropped
episodes.
3 at the top, and then 1 just came out this week.
How is it? We're going to. We just kind of forgot about it, so we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah. It's good. So I've only seen the first 3 episodes, which because they dropped them all at once, they kind of filmed them like one long episode. Like it's kind of like one arc for just that first episode to like do stuff for introduce. Oh yeah, this guy from who will be in Rogue One, because it's set 5 years before Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I like how kind of mundane it feels. Like it feels very like more like kind of like traditional Star Wars, like a World War II spy thriller kind of
Got it.
stuff. Like,
Oh, that's cool.
It's not super actiony. There's no Jedi. That's, it's just kind of like this guy's trying to be an undercover rebel type guy, and stuff happens. I like it. Yeah, so that's good. What else did I watch? I watched Little Demon. Did I talk about this before? It's the new animated show with Danny DeVito as Satan and his real life daughter voicing his daughter, the daughter of Satan. It's very good. It's a bit like Rick and Morty in that
where is
it's
it?
extremely irreverent and creative. I don't know. Don't ask me these questions.
What's it called again? One Little Devil?
Little Demon. Just Little Demon.
Little Demon. Huh. Never heard of this one.
Oh, it's
that's Aubrey Plaza.
I think you guys would like it. Yeah, Aubrey Plaza's the mom. Because basically, it's like divorced parents, Satan and a witch, and they have a kid, and they both want to be present in their kid's life, and their kid's like the second coming of Satan kind of thing, and so it's like it's fun mismatch of things.
Sounds kind of funny. It's on
I'm
FX.
liking it. FX, sure.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then I watched the first 2 episodes of a show from 2016 called Search Party that I'm told is very funny. And the first couple episodes have been more drama than funny, but I'm liking it. So far, the main premise is this woman goes missing, and so you kind of just follow like a couple people who like vaguely knew her in college and are kind of making it about them. Like, oh man, I'm so upset about this girl. Like they barely knew her. And so it's kind of just about drama and stuff. But the cast is all comedians, so I think it's going to get funnier, but we'll see. Right now it's kind of just like a mystery, which I'm liking.
Fair enough. I forgot one other thing I watched, but I'll wait till you're done.
Yeah,
I can't believe
what?
I forgot this.
No,
I finally
do your
watched.
thing.
Do my thing. I finally watched Sandman.
Oh, what'd you think?
It's good.
Oh yes,
It's really
I've watched
good.
the first
I really liked it.
3 or 4 episodes now.
Okay.
Nice.
Did you watch? Did you read the comics?
I read the comics like 8 years ago, a while ago.
Same, yeah. I read them like a really long time ago, so I think there were a lot of details I forgot. Yeah, it's very faithful to the very faithful adaptation from what I do remember.
The main character looks so much like the comic character.
Oh, I know. He looks just like him.
He starved
He
himself
sounds
apparently, which is his dedication.
It's just too bad.
to the role.
I figured he
no.
had to when I see the first couple of episodes where he's naked in the thing. I was like,
he was.
"Oh,
This doesn't look natural.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn it. I was like, I mean,
Let's hope he doesn't
everything
get a
else-
Batman role right after this.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, like freaking Christian
I mean-
Bale.
Yeah. Hopefully his body's okay. I always feel very about those things, but
Yeah.
but he did incredible. I do kind of find his like pursed lips kind of funny though. But when he was being so serious, I was like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
but otherwise
He's
he was
very
perfect.
serious, which makes it hard for
He's
me to
very
take him
serious.
seriously.
Oh, he's such an edge. I mean, he's a huge
Super
edgelord. He was in
Yeah.
the comics too. He's exactly how he needs to be. Just super dramatic edgelord. I love it. But yeah, everyone's great. Every character is fantastic. Some of them creepy that need to be creepy. Love Death. Oh, can't wait for you to see Death. She's great. But yeah, no, incredible.
haven't yet. That'd
Absolutely
be cool.
incredible. My brother is a huge fan of the comics, and he was very, very, very happy. So they definitely, hopefully, we'll get a season 2. It was definitely high production value. Some of those scenes are, whew.
you said 4 episodes, right? Have you reached the diner episode yet, Fo?
I don't think he has.
I'm not even sure which one that one is.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, you would have known. If we said diner episode, you would have known. Yeah, that one, I remembered that one from the comics, because that one's so creepy.
And really like the death episode. That one's just...
Oh, it's so good.
Love that one.
So good.
But I also really like the one where he kept matting up with the man at the tavern.
Yes, that's a good one too.
There's just so many good episodes to pick out. Like, you know, like it's just such a good show.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
Such
so
a good
good.
show, yeah.
The episode. So fun fact. This is it's a slight spoiler, Fo, but you've kind of read the comics, so not super big spoiler, I guess. So is it okay if I talk about it, or don't really care? It's not like the end. It's just about this. So just a funny thing about that meeting with the guy episode is keep in mind that the comics were written to take place in the 1990s. So when he missed seeing him in 1989, in the comics, it's supposed to be that he only missed seeing him for a few years. But because the show takes place in 2020, he missed him for several decades. So I just thought that was really funny on the implications there. But yeah, so.
And Lucifer is really...
she's incredible.
Very good casting.
Oh, yeah.
I also find it funny, all this shit is happening in the same universe where Batman is punching people. So it's just like...
Yep.
I just find that hilarious.
Yep.
Well, it's funny. They did have to jump through a little hoop. It's not John Constantine. It's Joanna Constantine. You know, because they couldn't have the rights.
Why did they? Oh, rights. Oh, wait. So who owns the rights to? Who owns the rights to Sandman now? Is it DC Warner Brothers or is it Neil Gaiman?
I thought it was, but to be honest with you, I don't really know, because Neil Gaiman's had a lot of power to deny. So part of the reason the fact that the show came out was a miracle is because there have been several pitches over the last several decades to turn the Sandman into a show, and Neil Gaiman has denied them all. This was the first one he okayed. As in, they did the pilot and showed him the pilot, and he went, yes, keep going. All the rest, so he must have some rights over it. I don't really know. It also could be that Sandman was bought by another company away from DC, maybe. I'm not really sure. But yeah, originally Sandman was a comic that was commissioned to Neil Gaiman by DC, from what I understand. So that's why there was, in the actual comics, there is a part where the Justice League comes in. I never got that far, but it does happen.
It's at a funeral scene for some reason.
Yeah.
Or there is a funeral scene where Superman and everybody show up.
Yeah. And even in this show, the diner scene, that guy is supposed to be, I believe, Dr. Destiny. But in this show they don't call him that. So they took out a lot of references.
So production companies, DC and Warner Brothers is part of the production company for this show, though. Man, rights and all that is so confusing.
It's so confusing. I genuinely
do
don't
they have
know.
A spreadsheet of what they own,
know, right?
And how many % they own it? I don't get it.
Oh my gosh. Well, because remember back when Marvel was trying to
not
take,
bankrupt,
basically got bankrupt, was trying to take some, and Sony was like, you can't have X-Men and you can't have Spider-Man. Well, what can we have? You want Iron Man? Nobody cares about Iron Man, LOL. And then everybody did care, as it turns out.
And it was just confusing because it's a Netflix exclusive, right? But DC also, Warner Bros. Got their own thing going, so we're just sort of competing with Netflix. So what?
Yeah, I genuinely couldn't tell you. I just know that it was originally a DC commission to Neil Gaiman, and so he had to connect DC characters to it, which he did. And I don't know where the rights are now, but
was the DC connection as the comic book was being planned out and written, or was that did that come after?
No, I'm pretty sure it was from the beginning because, like I said, like the first couple volumes, Dr. Destiny is outright stated. I thought there was a Marvel Man, or whatever it was called, whatever Marvel was called in DC, reference in there, but I think I'm confusing it with another superhero. But no,
you mean like Captain Marvel?
I think there was the DC version of Captain Marvel. I thought there was a mention of that. But I might be mistaking the superheroes. But Dr. Destiny was definitely in there.
Captain Marvel is Shazam, right? Wait.
In this case, no. This was a different one. That's why I think I'm confusing them. Because there's been a lot of Captain Marvels, like several different iterations, if you look at the history of it. And it was meant to be like as a fuck you back and forth between DC and Marvel. So.
And then they actually did crossovers, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s.
But yeah, this was not. Yeah, the one I'm thinking of, it's not Shazam, but I swear to God it was called Marvel something. But I might be mixing them up. It was like a husband and wife. So I might be. I think there was a I think it is. There was an actual Sandman superhero, and I think that's what I'm thinking of. In the original DC, that was then referenced in Sandman.
That sounds familiar.
Something like that. But yeah, no. It was planned from the beginning, from what I understand. Excuse me.
I finished Dragon Quest Builders 2.
How was it?
Finishing Dragon Quest Builders 2 just means now in the post game I can build anything I want. That's just what it means. It is an amazing game. I wasn't expecting to love it this much. Because it's like
fair enough.
It's like in the beginning you're like, oh, that's like blocky blocks, it's like Minecraft ripoff, whatever. So but it has like, the story really pushes you to, it just really guides you, shows you how to do different things, and the story is actually pretty well thought out, and it just, for a person like me, where if you just throw me on a blank canvas, I wouldn't know what to do. But Dragon Quest Builders 2 do not do that. The blank canvas comes way after like everything else, so you have all this time to like just build all the creative things in your head, and then once you reach at the end, you might have an idea of what you want to build, and like you're familiar with all the tools and all that. I really wish they would make a Dragon Quest Builders 3. It's such an amazing game. Like, it's really good. Right now I pretty much finished every quest that I can, and it's just literally I can build whatever I want. Even bought DLCs for it because I'm enjoying it so much, and it was on sale. I was like, fuck it, let's buy DLCs. So yeah, that's literally the only thing I played for the past month at least, or whenever I started it, maybe 2 months ago. That's the only thing I played. Like, I try to play it every day. It's one of those games where I think about when I'm not playing. This is, I don't know, it's just, and I love Dragon Quest and all the cute little monsters and all that, and you can befriend the monsters too, so that's fun. That's always fun. Other than that, I didn't really do anything else. Was She-Hulk. Okay, I got a couple of toys.
I was about to say, you had to have gotten some stuff, right?
I managed to fucking get the Dr. Octopus Silk 2-pack. This one was hard to find. No pre-orders for Malaysian sellers. I think it was an Amazon exclusive. Yeah, so and then one day I saw a couple of sellers bringing in stock. I'm like, shit. And I managed to even get it on discount, so hell yeah. There's this Joker. Not sure if it's clear enough. It is the Death in the Family Joker, where he wears his face as a mask. His face was ripped off, so he's wearing a skin mask. The gun is from a separate McFarlane munitions pack because Warner Brothers do not like guns with their toys. So he came with an axe, but I have the munitions pack. So, and this gun is clearly made for the Joker. Like, nobody uses this gun except the Joker. So
yeah, exactly.
What else did I get? Pre-ordered a few things that's not in yet. I did open like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Frankenstein monster. Raphael as Frankenstein. So yeah,
Nice.
that was really nice. The weapon broke in package though, so that really fucking sucks. Yeah, because he uses size.
Oh.
Yeah, so he uses size, and you know how size like a 3-pronged thing,
Yeah.
and the 2 side prongs, one of them broke off, on both of them. So
Dang it.
yeah,
How does
super
that
glue held it in for a little bit, and now it's okay. So,
Okay.
But when I handle it with care. And I guess if anybody's listening to this and you have that, like, be careful. It doesn't feel like the most secure, like, most solid thing. So, but yeah. After this recording, I'm actually going over to. We have like this local. So we have this like really old mall. And it's really popular for having a lot of toy stores. I don't know why, but it's really popular for having a lot of toy
Sounds
stores.
awesome.
It is very, and on the weekends they do like a bazaar. So like sellers would be able to open booths all around inside the mall. So people are selling like, and it's not just toys. It's like vinyls, old timey bowls and stuff. Like a lot of like collectible stuff, antiques. It's a really fun place to go. It's just a really old mall. So I actually ordered. Okay, so I wasn't able to pre-order this because for whatever reason, McFarlane has been reducing stock for the Asian markets. At least that's what one of the sellers told me. And he wants to focus on the US market, whatever. And I wasn't able to get into on the pre-orders for this. One seller opened it and it closed down really fast because he didn't have a lot of slots available and nobody else was able to open pre-orders. But I suddenly just randomly a couple of days ago, I saw one of the toy stores that I follow brought in at least one set of this wave, and it's the McFarlane Batman Arkham City wave. So it has Batman from Arkham City, Penguin, Catwoman, Ra's al Ghul, and all 4 of the boxes for these characters come with parts to build Solomon Grundy. So it's literally 5 figures in the wave. And I finally have it. Jeez. I'm going to go take it later. So yeah, that one I'm very excited about that one.
I really like the Solomon Grundy.
Yeah. Finally. Because like it's such a cool wave. Like all the characters are cool and all that. And it's like you get a Batman and like a Rogues Gallery. I think it's a really good way to like at least start a collection too. And I don't know, I really like the Batman Arkham City like armor and all that, the design and everything.
Yeah.
And Arkham City is the one where you don't see his fucking pupils. Arkham Asylum is the one where you see his pupils through the cowl, and it's kind of weird looking. I don't know. I like no pupils. It kind of depends on the suit, I guess. It kind of depends on the suit. Like I really like Michael Keaton, and you can see his freaking eyes in that one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just been buying lots of toys, I guess. That's my thing now, I guess.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been your thing for a while.
yeah, it's true. I do wanna like probably soon subscribe to at least a month of like the PC Game Pass, the Xbox Microsoft one, because the sequel to that, what is it called? Remember that like indie game where it got really popular? It's like the sister and the little brother with like the rats. That you can control the rats.
Oh, Plague
Tale. Yeah, the sequel is on the Game Pass now.
Oh wow, I
That
didn't
game's
know
been
that.
on my wish list. I didn't know you could control rats in it.
So I mean, just subscribe to a month of Game Pass. It's like pretty cheap, and you get to play. I'm pretty sure the first game is on it.
Grounded just came out, and I want to play Grounded.
Oh yeah,
I
Grounded.
I don't want to pay $40.
Grounded
for it.
1.0 is also it is on Game Pass because it's a Microsoft thing, right? So yeah,
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe I'll do it.
I don't know. It's
I
just
need
really
the
good
Game
value,
Pass.
honestly.
It's super good value.
I don't know,
just
but I might
forget.
just buy the games. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I just
if you
forget
wanna
to play games enough.
I don't think I play games enough. Like if I pay for 3 months of Game Pass, I feel like I could just buy the one game I'll play in that time.
Right. So what I think Grounded is a pretty decent game to buy and own, since it's one of those things that you probably go back to once in a while, right? And and they probably update it a lot. I like to subscribe to Game Pass when I see a game I want to play on there, and I'm like, it's just cheaper for me to subscribe to a month of Game Pass, finish a couple of games instead of paying 5 times the price for the 2 games I want to play. Because I don't know, like, I'm starting not to care about owning digital stuff anymore. I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. Maybe owning digital stuff have never made sense, I guess. But before Game Pass, I cared a little bit about it. But now
renting digital stuff is even worse for me.
That's true.
I think for me, the reason I can see where Char's coming from is it's become very obvious how easy it is for even buying digital stuff for it to just disappear.
Go away, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
and so there is something to be said of how much more honest it is if you're just renting it. But I get it.
6 years ago, I would definitely do it.
Like, I wouldn't
more video games.
I would have subscribed to Game Pass to play Dragon Quest Builders 2. Because that one I want to play a lot. I want to take my time. And it's a game that I would like to own because then I can keep going back to it, right? But like, if it's a linear action adventure game, 12 hours, 15 hours, fuck it. I'll just rent it out. And like, I guess we're going back to renting. Is Blockbuster coming back? Okay.
I know, right? There's one left, apparently, if it still hasn't closed.
Seriously?
Down. Yeah, there's this whole... where is it? It's like literally like in Alaska or some shit. Like, it's just like the last Blockbuster in this small, tiny town. They had like a tweet.
Didn't they like have...
I think they did close down, though.
Didn't they like had a chance to like buy out Netflix or like something with Netflix?
A long time ago,
Ages
yes.
ago.
A long time ago. Netflix was not doing well, and Blockbuster, was in a position to buy it out, and it didn't. And
I mean, hindsight 2020, whatever, but
I mean,
just interesting.
It's of course. I mean, those things are always like it's never a surefire. When Yahoo bought Tumblr and then it tanked. None of these things are surefire.
Stop buying shit and like getting rid of porn.
Pretty much. They almost did that. Whoever bought out OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I forget what big business bought out.
Which is weird because OnlyFans.
It was started by sex workers.
Yeah. Porn is as oil. Like, you wanna.
Yeah.
Makes no sense at all.
How it got started.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's just a glorified Twitch. Like. No. But yeah, I forget who bought OnlyFans, but they were going to try to do the same thing, and there was a big push, and they basically, last I heard, had been like, okay, we're not going to do anything for now, and just see how it goes. I want to say it was PayPal? I don't know why that's in my head.
Oh, no, I
think
what you're thinking is, you're saying you think PayPal bought OnlyFans? Is that what you said?
That's what I thought, but
no,
maybe it was only PayPal didn't want to be connected to OnlyFans?
So a lot of these porn services, let's just call it what it is, porn services.
Yeah, sex work services.
They always use I'm not sure if excuse is the proper word, but they always use the fact that a lot of these payment services do not want to have payment of porn shit going through their payment services. That's what they're saying. Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. So I'm not sure if they are getting pressure from these payment services or if they're not and they're just using them as an excuse. I'm not really sure which, but that's what you're thinking.
That's what I'm thinking of, because one of the other issues that some artists are coming into is certain services don't want to support like NSFW artists. Patreon, for instance, apparently is trying to push out a lot of artists
Patreon is another one,
yeah, trying to push out a lot of people who, that their main thing is NSFW, which is why last I heard Ko-Fi's still real chill about it. So that's where everybody goes for that. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and I know also so much of this is couched in a lot of the new laws that had come into play that was meant to help with sex trafficking, but actually just made it worse. But that's a whole different thing. COPA or something. It was meant to be. It was basically the regulation behind it put the onus on website owners to make sure there was no child porn on there.
Right.
And so
that's why Pornhub did like a major cleanup, right?
Yep. And like, yes, I agree in major cleanups. Don't get me wrong, but the
child
problem
porn
is
and
because
revenge porn and shit. Like you gotta be verified.
Yeah, and like, listen, I'm all for that, obviously. But the problem was because they made it on the onus of the website owners, a lot of web hosts were like, well, we don't, like Twitter, for instance, at one point was trying to kind of push out NSFW stuff and things like that. And they were like, listen, we don't want to be made liable because that was the problem, is they could be easily made liable instead of, doing anything else. So, but anyway, we're getting really off topic now. I guess at least it's better than cannibalism, but still, I don't know. Not by much. Not by much.
For what else did you watch or played?
Did you do anything, Fo?
Yeah. There was one other thing I watched. I can't remember what it was. I'm not gonna talk about it. I played actually more stuff than usual. I finished Subnautica. So that was
the water
fun.
one?
I played it with a mod.
One?
Yeah.
Yeah, to which one?
Underwater one.
The water one.
They're all underwater.
But isn't one like really icy or something? The sequel?
There's Below Zero.
Right.
Yeah, there's Below Zero.
What mod is this?
I was using a mod to make it multiplayer. Nitrox.
Ooh. How does that work?
It was a little too buggy. It worked okay for multiplayerness, but it was buggy.
Like
I wouldn't
y'all
recommend
can
trying it.
build together, those kind of things?
Yeah, you can build together, you can ride in the same vehicles, you can go to each other's base. It just kind of didn't spawn things in the world the way it was supposed to.
Right, because it sounds like a really difficult mod.
Persist things well. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. So I probably won't do it for Below Zero. I'll probably just do a Sub-Zero, Below Zero, completely solo. I tried to play Outward, and it's very obtuse, and I died a lot. So I'm gonna give it one more go next week. I'm just gonna start completely over, but it feels like a weird game from the 90s.
Did you watch
It's
any?
much newer than that, so
did you watch
why.
any? Did you watch any like guides or anything? Because I've heard that game can be kind of difficult.
No. I think I probably should, because it's like you have 5 days. You have 5 in-game days to pay me money, or you lose your house. And so I leave the village, and I just get killed like 3 times because combat's kind of wonky. And also, that game officially supports multiplayer, but functionally it doesn't really support multiplayer, because like me and my friend were running around inside the starting village, and there's one water skin to pick up. Which means only one of us gets to be able to carry fresh water around, and managing your thirst and hunger are like really big mechanics. So it's like, I think we should both just play this solo and like hopefully get to some point where we can just join each other's worlds and be kind of self-sufficient. But it's
Dragon Quest Builders 2.
I said I'll give it a little more shot.
Dragon Quest Builders 2 has a hunger mechanic, and it's literally does not serve any purpose at all. Like, it just makes you hungry for no reason.
Annoying.
You cook food and then you eat it, and then like, why? Like, this is no fun. There's no point to this. There's no other than that. There's no other survival mechanic. Like, why? You can eat food to get like bonuses, extra defense, whatever. Just do that. Don't make a hunger meter like this.
Yeah.
Stop putting hunger meters in your game.
I used a console command to turn off hunger in Subnautica after playing it for a while, because I just got kind of bored with it.
That's nice. I'm not sure if you can do that in Dragon Quest Builders, but I'm playing on the PlayStation, so there is a version of PC, but there's no mods apparently for the game. So I guess it's a pretty difficult game to make mods for, maybe, or maybe there's just not enough players to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And then just today, I was like, should I wait for a bigger sale? I decided not to. Dome Keeper came out, and so it's not like 10% off, so I picked up Dome Keeper.
I saw that one.
Which is pretty fun. It's like a very like low-res, pixel arty kind of game where you have like a dome on an alien planet with like you have defenses, and so every like so often monsters attack you, and in between the monster waves you dig below the dome to get resources to like upgrade the dome.
Sounds fun. Is it how are you liking it?
I'm liking it.
Okay.
It's got good unlocks. It's got
the visuals reminds me of Risk of Rain a little bit for some reason.
Absolutely. Risk of Rain 1 is exactly what it looks like. It doesn't play like it, but it's good.
But it's a 2D side scroller, right?
Yep. Yeah, you spend all your time digging to get resources, and I don't know. I just right before this podcast unlocked an alternate game type. I think the gameplay loop's the same, just the end condition's a little different. So I'll see what that does. But you unlock like different domes. Like the starting dome, you have like a gun that you can scroll on the outside that shoots like a laser, and then you unlock like a dome where instead of a laser, it's like a sword blade, so you can slash things to get close to you, and every now and then you can shoot the blade out at people and like pull it back. Yeah, so I'm liking it a lot. We'll see how much depth there is to the game, but I've played 3 or 4 rounds so far, and I like how not too difficult it is. There's definitely like I'm playing it on normal, and there is like hard and like ultra hard or whatever. So I'm liking normal. It's not like Risk of Rain, because Risk of Rain I feel like on normal, even normal was kind of too hard unless I cheesed it.
Yeah, Risk of Rain, I definitely had a better time when I played it with somebody. It was difficult on my own.
That's true. Maybe it was balanced for multiple people. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like it.
But I think that's it for stuff I played. I didn't really, yeah. And you got most of the things I watched. Did any of you? I haven't watched it yet. I think I will because I'm a masochist. But did either of you watch the new Pinocchio? Like, what am I in store for?
No,
I
refuse. Yes, it's out.
It looks
I
pretty
was just
awful.
as surprised as you. It looks disgusting. Yeah, when I saw the trailer,
so
I was
dumb.
like, "Oh man, is this gonna come out in a few years? Next month?" I was so confused.
Oh my god, there's Tom Hanks in it?
Yeah, I didn't even know Tom Hanks.
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks?
Apparently, it's a role he's
Luke
dreamed
Evans.
of.
Tom
Hanks.
Joseph
Robin
It's a
Gordon.
great cast.
Yeah. Michael Keegan.
Oh jeez.
So, another example
like,
of Hollywood
nothing
doing the same thing at the same time. There's another Pinocchio movie, I don't know what it's called, like Little Puppet Boy or something, coming out in a year from like Guillermo del Toro. So that one, I'm legitimately excited for. This one, I just want to watch it because it's a dumpster fire, I think.
Oh, Tom Hanks. Okay.
You had some
Action.
You had something you wanted to. You had something you wanted to say, Fo, that you forgot about.
Oh, I feel like we already talked about it off camera. Should maybe stay off camera, but I guess maybe Char will care. I watched a movie from the director of Mad Max, who I learned is also the director of Babe, Pig in the City. The movie is called 3,000 Years of Longing, and it's about Tilda Swinton opening a bottle with a gin inside, played by Idris Elba.
How was it? Did you?
It's
I've been wanting to watch that one.
I liked it. I mean, I didn't love it. I'm not gonna watch it again, but it was a fun and imaginative movie. But it was clearly very much the director's kind of like just passion project. Like, this means a lot to you, doesn't it? Because it's kind of just weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not like a normal movie.
Right.
I will say I would be very happy if I rubbed a magic lamp and Idris Elba just popped out. That'd be a good day.
Absolutely.
Do y'all know what a light bright is?
A what?
A light bright.
It's a thing with a grid you put little, almost like battleship pegs in, and the light
and it
glows
lights up
through them.
like a picture.
And you make
Okay.
a shape.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
first time I've heard about it. It looks really cool.
I mean, it's an old toy.
Old.
From like
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because
when I
they
was- when
recently
I was a
announced
kid, yeah.
3 Transformers
my
ones,
parents' toy.
Oh.
and it's apparently really big. So apparently it's like the biggest one yet by Light Bright. So it looks really cool, but I couldn't find anybody selling any Light Bright stuff in Malaysia, which really sucks. So this is an old thing.
Yeah, I didn't have. I think there was one in my house because it was my mom's when she was a kid, and she just had it still. But I didn't.
Right.
Really
So
play with
basically,
it more
it's
than,
just
like, once
white
or
light,
twice.
and then you put all the transparent colored things, and then it makes it into. That's cool. What does it run out of? Like, is it batteries or? I'm guessing it's
I
batteries.
think ours ran out of the wall socket.
Oh.
I never actually had one. I just knew about.
Looks really
them.
cool. It has 3 Transformers one, Autobot logo, Bumblebee, and Optimus Prime. I really want that Optimus Prime one. Fuck.
Wait, so the light bright itself transforms?
Wait, what?
Or
No,
it's
no,
like
no.
A,
It's a light bright.
it's like a thing that
Yeah.
you follow
Yeah,
the pattern
yeah.
and it makes the picture. Okay, it's a pattern. Got it.
We're not there yet of technology. We don't have transforming light brights.
Hey, I saw the transformer that transforms into a Sony camera, and I don't think it's a functioning Sony camera, but if I wasn't looking super careful,
Yeah.
it looked like a Sony camera, and that was pretty
We
cool.
did have a few years, quite a while ago. transforming. They transform into things for you to put your iPods on, something like that.
That's great. I think with that train one a lot. I like that train one.
The train one? What train one?
There were two. There were two train transformers that came with their own rail and everything. And I'm like, even though I'm a big Transformers guy, I'm a big enough train and robot guy. I'm like,
yeah, that one's by
cool.
that one was clearly made for the Japanese market. That one, those were Japanese bots. And it's apparently HO scale, I think is what it's called.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. If you're a train enthusiast, I think you understand what it means.
HO.
But yeah. News time?
Sure.
Sarah?
Wait. One other.
Okay.
Sorry. This is kind of news. This is kind of news, but also kind of my week. Little backstory. I think I already talked about this in the podcast, but 15 years ago, Games Workshop, the company that makes Warhammer, they discontinued making Squats, which was the Space Dwarves. And so recently, they started reproducing the Space Dwarves. And they, like doing spoilers, like here's what the infantry looks like, here's what their vehicles look like. And so like a couple weeks ago, pre-orders went up for like a starter kit for them. And that's usually, whenever there's a new army coming out, they do this, and then the army goes on sale like months later. So I was able to pre-order this. So it arrived yesterday evening, the new kit with the new Space Dwarves. And here's why it's an interesting news story, is yesterday morning, before I even received this package, they had released errata for the rulebook that came with it. So I received a physical deprecated rulebook, which not a problem for me because I don't play the game. I buy the book because it has like 50, like half of it's like pictures and lore, which I like a lot. But like at this point, I feel like they should just not print rulebooks. Like they should just use the app that they can keep update in real time, because if something needs errata, they should errata it, especially before people buy things. Like they plan out their armies and they change point values, whatever, to make armies not valuable. So they did the right thing. It's just so weird that like it's the fastest time something's ever become like invalid before.
It's so frustrating. D&D has this problem. It's actually, there's a huge shift right now. D&D is doing this whole thing called One D&D, which basically sounds like Microsoft 360 to me. Any subscription service, but like it's meant to be that like you could get but this has always been a problem. You can get physical books, and a lot of their sales are on physical books, but they do so much errata constantly. So you kind of have to get the digital book so that they would update. But
I didn't realize that the Wizards was doing that. That's interesting.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate.
It is what it is. I mean, for the most part, it'll be fine.
Hard.
It's so hard, and that's the problem. They're doing other cool things with that, so it's not just like a subscription. It's not even. I'm not even sure if it is a subscription service, to be honest with you. It just sounds like it's going to be one. They're doing a whole like big, huge some rule changes, some things that people hate and some that they love. The other cool thing they're doing though is they are combining with which engine is it? Is it Unity? They're combining with some engine, might be Unreal Engine, and making it that if you pay like a subscription fee, you can basically have like a 3D dungeon map. So you can get cool. like figures, and you can like have the camera zoom in as you're moving them and doing things. So that's going to make some people happy if it works. But anyway, yes, it's dumb, and I feel you.
Anyway, yeah, now I get the news.
Okay. Just a real quick toy news. So,
toy news!
Hasbro did their Hasbro Pulse Con first day yesterday or something. So they announced a bunch of figures, some pretty cool stuff. But one really cool thing was an Iron Man figure with his freaking plasma ion blaster thingy from those Marvel vs. Capcom one, the giant big one. Oh my god.
Oh my
shit! It looks so cool. It's really cool, but it's a deluxe figure price. I think it's pretty expensive. It's like $45 or something.
Oh, I see it.
It's
now.
really, really fucking cool.
Oh, I like the blaster. Yeah, the blaster. I don't like I don't go in for the vintage retro figures too much.
Yeah, it's like whatever. I mean, I don't have an Iron Man, so if I get it, it'll be pretty decent. Like I have an Iron Man, but that blaster was god damn it.
That blaster's cool. I was looking at a War Machine recently because it had like actual little like missiles with like smoke trails that came out of his shoulder missile launcher. But this is pretty cool. Actually, eyes are pretty cool.
So yeah, Sarah, you go with that news thing.
Oh yeah, so you guys remember Stadia?
Mm-hmm. How could we forget?
I didn't until this news story.
How could you forget? Yeah, I know. If you guys don't remember, both my wife and my brother had pre-ordered and bought the Stadia. I remember at the time being like, "Oh man, should I as well? This seems like a good idea." I'm so glad I didn't. It's basically. Let me just read their keyword. For many years, Google has invested across multiple aspects of the gaming industry. We help developers build and distribute gaming apps on Google Play and Google Play Games. Gaming creators are reaching audiences around the world on YouTube through videos, live streaming, and shorts. And our cloud streaming technology delivers immersive gameplay at massive scale. A few years ago, we launched a consumer gaming service, Stadia. And while Stadia's approach to streaming games for consumers was built on strong technology foundation, it hasn't gained the traction with users we expected. So we've made the difficult decision to begin winding down our Stadia streaming service. So basically, let's see. They are the big news is they are refunding all Stadia hardware purchases.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
So
both hardware and software, right?
Yep, and all game and add-on content purchased. So hopefully, if my wife and my brother remember to do this, they can get a refund. Players will continue to have access to their games library and play through January 18th, 2023, so that they can complete final play sessions. We expect to have the majority of refunds completed by mid-January 2023. So it's going to happen quick. It's just a couple of months from now. So they then said that, like, hey, it was still really cool. The underlying technology platform that's powers Stadia has been proven at scale and transcends gaming, which is why no one played it. They still said that they want to, they still see opportunities to use this technology in other places, so
sure.
Who knows what's going to happen next. But yeah, so that is a thing.
I did see some headline where a Red Dead Redemption fan with 6,000 hours in games, like, can I please get an account transfer?
Oh my god.
Because they're like, refunds you can't refund time.
Yeah, that sucks. It's kind of crazy because, like, when we tried to use it, one of the problems with it was just that the feedback was so slow. That was why we couldn't really use it. Also, the way that you had to get games at the time, the gaming library was very, very poor. And by the time it got better, we had shelved it and moved on to the next thing. So, but yeah, when we tried to use it, like, the feedback was way slower than advertised, because it is like a streaming basically thing. So it didn't really quite work out.
Right.
So we shelved it pretty quickly. But yeah, so
it would work for like a turn-based game, but you couldn't play Cuphead or something.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it was. I don't know. I never really tried it because, quite frankly, after my family lost interest, I didn't really see why I would try to do anything. So,
right.
But yeah. So yeah, Stadia is doing a complete, or I should say Google, doing a complete refund. It didn't say, like, how to access the refund, so I don't know how that's working, if it's automatic or if you have to apply or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the only thing I wasn't sure
Maybe they'll
about.
send something in the emails or something.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, like, if they still have access to people's accounts, because I think they said if you got it, because they were very specific, if you got this stuff through the Google store or through the Stadia, like, site for games and stuff like that. So meaning, like, anybody who bought it from, like, eBay isn't going to get a refund. But what that means is maybe it still has everybody's accounts, so maybe they'll just do an automatic credit to the credit cards. I'm not sure. But just something that anybody who's listening to this and didn't know about it, please look that up, because I'm not actually sure how it works. So, I guess good on Google, I guess. I mean, this refund is probably not that expensive for them in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, they probably want to buy some goodwill back, maybe.
Yeah.
And they can afford it. It's
That's what I mean. Like, in the combination of how rich Google is and how few people bought it, like, this is going to be nothing for them to do. So, yeah, I think it's just a bit of trying to buy some goodwill and move on technologies.
Yeah.
I mean, Google has done this for a while. They score on one thing and fail at another. So
they
we'll
score
see
on
how
one
this
thing
goes.
and fail on another 5. That's what they do.
That's fair. We sometimes we don't know about the other 5. I usually don't. I forgot Google Glass became real at one point. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of this gets swept under the rug pretty quick.
I mean, a lot of it is also like, yeah, they wanna sell something like a product, a consumer product, whatever. That doesn't really always pan out, but they do have the technology from the research, I guess. So I'm not too worried about them. They'll be fine. I think they'll be just fine. I think the worst one is like the one that Fo mentioned, the Red Dead Redemption 2 6,000 hours guy, because the funny thing is, I believe you still had to sign into a Rockstar account to play it on Stadia, which then makes no sense because there's no cloud saves or anything. Like there's no like. It's very obvious all these like login accounts is just for them to like gain data or something. They could have just Rockstar has a bit of money, I believe, just a little bit. I think they can afford at least like a save game on the cloud or something.
You think, yeah. Speaking of Rockstar, did you hear about the GTA 6 leak that has people in a tizzy fit?
Haha, that's big news.
Yes,
that was pretty big.
And so I didn't actually like look into it, but there was some dev stuff released, and some grognards are in a tizzy fit because A, it's an alpha test basically, so it looks like shit, and B, it has been confirmed that there's supposed to be a female protagonist along with a male protagonist for a Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde kind of
cool,
scenario,
honestly.
which, this has been rumored for years, and it was one of those like, only been a matter of time. Only took you 6 games and how many years to get to this point?
Years,
so
20 years.
Exactly, like cool.
What makes no sense at all at the backlash is people saying it looks like shit. It looks like shit, yeah, because it's really early builds. That's how you do it.
Right.
You don't build all of the game all at once.
I know.
Do people
but
not have like, you don't even have to be a game developer to know this, right?
No, but there's a lot of stupid reactionary people out there, and when you get enough of them, they are very loud.
The only good thing that came out of it is then a lot of developers started sharing alpha footage of their games and shit. Like,
oh, did they? I didn't see that. That's
basically
great.
saying like, this is how video games look like when we're making stuff, which like it's kind of cool because you get to see like the process and all that. But yeah, that's like literally the only good thing that came out of it. I think they're trying to like press charges on the guy that hacked their servers.
I did hear, which, all right.
I think he hacked a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think it's a group, isn't it? It's always a fucking group.
Usually.
Yeah.
There was do any of you watch Mighty Keef, YouTuber?
No, what is that?
Never heard of him.
Oh, he's pretty funny. He's a black YouTuber that makes these like little shorts. They're just like funny little shorts about video games. His most famous ones is he's got a series of videos about like Evo, the fighting games, and like all the fighting games are like personified as people. And how they all talk to each other. It makes more sense if you watch it, but he's pretty funny. But he made a whole skit about this whole situation that was quite hilarious. You can look it up. KEEF. I'll try to link it here for you guys. But yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah.
I do like Evo.
I think you might if you like kind of making fun of it, you'll like his stuff. That's pretty funny.
Genshin Impact made $3.7 billion on mobile. On only mobile in the first 2 years. Not sure how much they made on PC, PlayStation, but only on mobile is $3.7 billion.
I didn't know it's only mobile.
It's
bonkers.
Yeah, and this is why microtransactions will never go away.
Yeah, pretty much. Microtransactions are the equivalent of Pandora's box being opened.
Yeah. Can you imagine spending like, I don't know how much they spent on making this game, but it's probably not even close to that $4 billion they made. So
no way. Yeah.
Like, even if they use like 500 million, they got back like, what is it? Like 8 times. It's just what the fuck, man. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people enjoy it, so it's a pretty good game, I guess. But like, holy shit. Oh, Nintendo.
What they do?
5 Nintendo workers speaks out on alleged union busting.
Oh, I didn't hear this.
Honestly, it's not surprising. I know Nintendo has this like
a company union.
Yeah,
busting.
they're very among all like the big companies, tech video games. They have I think it's the only company that has the advantage of being seen as family friendly. So people like, oh my god, Nintendo wouldn't do this. Like, it has that image. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but it kind of has that like.
Yeah. Right. It does.
Is this kind of people who expect teachers to be like not drink alcohol
Exactly.
when they're not on the clock?
It's like
exactly.
They have like this nice guy image, and then people, when this shit comes out, like people get surprised, and like they're a company. Yeah. They're a pretty big company.
They're a capitalist company.
Very big company.
Yeah. They did do a cool thing by accepting same-sex couples on their insurance policies, so that was cool.
Nice.
This is not the
Japan.
first. I feel like I remember something else that that was news about Nintendo. I think I don't think this is their first alleged union busting thing. I believe.
Probably isn't. I feel like I a long time ago heard something about that.
And it's kind of insane. These huge ass companies don't have unions. I know. It's really insane.
Tech doesn't really have unions, does it?
No, it really doesn't. Tech's been pretty. I mean, I think the problem is that for a long time, not really as much anymore, but I feel like for a long time, some of those first starter tech companies really rejected the concept of unions. But now that it's gotten bigger and more people and easier to exploit, it's necessary.
What I don't really understand is union busting is illegal, right? Right?
I think it's
supposed to be, right?
Technically, yes. Technically.
Okay, because I've seen...
It's just hard to prove, I think.
That's the problem, is it's very hard to prove.
Right. Because
and
like...
usually
sorry, go.
I was just saying is that because there are lawyers in America that are known for helping kind of wiggle out of unions, help companies.
That's just they specialize in that. Yeah.
Yeah. But they can't outright say we specialize in busting unions. Just that they specialize in helping consult companies of how to manage, union stuff. So no, because it's always underground how they do this, and it's like Fo said, it's just often very hard to prove in a court of law because they're tricky overall. Like they don't just go outright and say, and because you can't just come outright saying if you join a union, we're firing you, because that is protected. But there's still a lot of tricky things they can do, such as say it wasn't because of unions. Say that they fired you for a different reason. That's a very popular one. Usually those people, especially if a union gets made, so this happened with Starbucks, usually those people are able to eventually sue companies and say it was because unlawful termination, but it takes a while and it's not quick. So yeah, union busting, is it technically illegal? Yeah. Are there still ways to get around it without the legality coming into play? Yeah.
Because I've heard whenever there's news on union busting on Reddit or whatever, there's always people saying whenever they start a new job, part of their orientation is how the companies make unions sound a bad thing.
Oh yeah.
How legal is that?
Oh,
exactly.
I mean, there's
that part's probably legal.
That part's legal. They're just saying it is highly suggested that you shouldn't join a union for these reasons. And usually, the main reason companies will just say is you have to pay too much union dues, which will be out of your paycheck. Also, don't worry about, usually the main excuse they give is, don't worry about it. We're taking care of you the best we can. You don't need unions. So, just trust us. It's fine. So, yeah, that's how they do it. It's not usually outright don't do it.
So, usually when people start talking about unions, don't they do it on the down low because they know, that's the best way to do it, right? So how do
Usually,
companies find out?
To avoid retaliation.
I mean,
someone tells them.
I mean, they have to be somewhat public because they need to get people on their side.
Right.
Because usually, if I recall correctly, unions have to be made essentially by vote. They're basically, if I recall correctly, if you get enough people to vote saying they want a union is formed, and that's about it. And so in order to do that, they have to spread the word that a vote is coming. And so that's when companies really try to set down and either, and try to like discourage people from voting yes. Or what will happen is a lot of those people have been secretly, fired, saying for other reasons. And those people are trying to protest for sake of a union and try to force making a union built by protest. And that's where you may have heard the word scabs. That's a term used for people who are hired by companies despite there being a protest because they're willing to take like the super low pay and all the ridiculousness so that the company doesn't need to listen to the protests.
They just fire the protesters and have the scabs.
Yep. It's all very complex.
Very, very weird segue. Nothing to do with anything we usually talk about, but I just randomly saw this.
Cannibalists,
No.
right?
I randomly saw this on Twitter, and apparently there's this couple in Brazil that did a gender reveal party, and what they did was
I saw this.
they dyed a natural waterfall, blue to signify as a boy. And it's apparently a drought-stricken town's water supply.
Oh my gosh. That's so selfish.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Why?
Holy shit.
It's just so amazing to me how something, I don't know if you guys know this. The lady that kind of popularized gender reveal parties.
I think you mentioned this before. I feel like I remember this.
Yeah. Yes,
this,
has come out and basically said, I'm so sorry, because one of her children ended up trans, especially. Like, that's not the reason she's sorry. Like, it's not just that. But, like, she even just felt sorry because she's like, this was just meant to be, like, something private fun that my family did, and I shared it because she's, like, a blogger or something. And she's like, and I hate how it's turned out. And she said, one of my children ended up trans, so I was wrong, like, that kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous to me. Because, like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell people that they can't have gender reveal parties. And I may have some feelings about it one way or another, but I also get it. We live in a culture that lives in the binary, at least initially. I get that. But some of these gender reveals are so over the top. And it's so weird. Because I'm like, were your weddings like this? Were your baby showers like this? Why the gender reveal?
I might just come out and say, don't have gender reveal parties. Just don't fucking do it. Fuck you.
No more. Or just have it with your family if you really, like, want to announce or something. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to tell what people to do in their private home, but, like, this shit's got to stop. My favorite was the statistic of, like, there's been more forest fires caused by gender reveal parties than, like, I don't know, anything else. Because it's happened at least, like, several times, like, more than 2. So crazy to me. Why are people like this? Make a cupcake with some filling in it, for crying out loud, if you really care that much. So strange. So strange.
I need attention.
I know.
That's why I'm having a baby.
I need you to know what's between my baby's legs. You're weird. Why are you weird?
There's not much other news. Cyberpunk 2077 sold 20 million. Yay.
Yeah,
I'm
considering of buying it if it ever goes down in price.
Yeah, definitely get it on sale.
Apparently it's good now. Yeah. I'm just going to get on sale.
Usually I've
apparently
seen it
it's
up to
good
like 50%
now.
off.
Yeah, for sure. Because apparently it's good now.
I saw somebody's comment that kind of like, what's the word? Summarized the experience with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's a really good way of like describing it.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077 is a really good game if you let it guide you, but as soon as you try to like explore the open world and try to experience emergent gameplay, it falls apart.
That sucks.
It's a linear open world game, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that does make a lot of sense. Okay. Definitely going to wait till it's 50% off. That sucks because that's not what I wanted to
Yeah,
play
I did. I
at
wasn't
all.
expecting that. Like, I wasn't expecting a linear open world game. I was expecting Witcher 3 Cyberpunk. Like, you know.
Exactly. Like that sucks. But at least they're honest, you know, because it sounds like it's not like, I think the main issues I had with the game are never really fixed at all. But at least if I know things like, hey, your starter class matters shit, you know, maybe I'll have some fun with it. If the characters are good, I'll just maybe try to treat it like playing Mass Effect or something. That's probably what I need to think of it as.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the thing. It's just very shallow.
Yeah, which sucks.
So don't try to like, you know, stray too far away from the path, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if the characters are good, which it sounds like there's some fun ones, then maybe it'll be worth it. I was just hoping for all the choice and the open world stuff, but I'll try to see if it's you know, if it could, like, that's kind of why I said Mass Effect. Like, it sounds like it's meant to be more of like a Mass Effect 2 experience, which is fine if the characters are good. If the characters suck, then there's no way you're gonna convince me that it's any good. But we'll see. I'll maybe take it a chance when it goes down in price.
Honestly, that's not much. I've already looked. There's like not much news going on.
That's okay.
Oh, quick one with Stadia again. I just saw this. Like, Ubisoft will let you transfer your Stadia purchases to PC if that's something you want to do.
Oh, very nice. Ubisoft, you usually suck. That's good on you.
Oh, one more thing. I just remembered. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is now the most delayed AAA game of all time.
That one's the most delayed, and not freaking Duke Nukem?
Yeah, it just overtook Duke Nukem Forever.
Holy shit.
So I think about a day and a half ago, it's been 5,234 days. Duke Nukem was 5,156 days. So Duke Nukem announced 1997, released in 2011.
Yikes.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer was released 5,234 days ago. Which is insane. What the hell?
That's absolutely insane.
So yeah. Not even sure if they're gonna make it, honestly.
Sure.
Don't release trailers 5 years before your game gets made, I guess.
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah, if there's nothing else, we can wrap up, I guess.
We can wrap up.
Okay. Do the thing.
All right. Do the thing. This is Sarahscopic, SARAHSCOPIC. I'm mostly on Twitter these days. I also do RNG and T. I'm not sure when we're next recording. But just look me up on that. You can watch my old content on YouTube if you really want to. But I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh.
But yeah.
And I'm Foehamner. I'm on YouTube.
Oh, I'm Pupunoob, Pupunoob. Twitter and Instagram. Mostly nowadays. Awkward silence. Yes. This has been episode
Awkward
198. 198.
Drink Waterloo.
Drink Waterloo. Gamer drink.
Summer berries.
108, episode 108 of the playonultra podcast. Thank you very much for watching, listening. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.